beer, it's good for you.
Hello and welcome to the video. Within this video we'll be looking at the latest version of the world's best-selling fermenter, the FermZilla. This new version does away with the screw fittings and uses triclover clamps for an easier and more reliable seal. These were first released in Australia, as always, and are now starting to filter into other parts of the world outside of their Australian homeland. The FermZilla Conical is the successor of the Fermentosaurus, and with this latest update is now up to its third edition, which when compared to the original Fermentosaurus sees upgrades to literally every part of the entire setup. So let's now see what all the fuss is about and what is new with this new third generation FermZilla. Here is a quick look at the new third generation FermZilla Conical from top to bottom. This is the 27 litre version, but there is also a 55 litre double batch version for those that like to brew bigger. Please do note that there are certain parts fitted here that are actually optional extras, such as the kit for pressure fermentation and also the pressure release valve and ball lock fitting that have been added to the bottom container. Let's now take a closer look in more detail. As with the last FermZilla generation, the bottom container is made from Triton plastic, which is incredibly heat resistant to the point where it can withstand boiling temperatures. It is also very chemically resistant too. An upgrade change here is the bottom container's lid, which allows for a 2-inch triclover fitting to attach itself to the dump valve. Let's now remove this, and you can see that there is a new type of lid to accommodate the triclover. To ensure a perfect fit, there is also a groove gasket. Still present is this great bottom container that can be pressurized while shut off from the rest of the fermenter. This allows you to add in additions like dry hops without introducing any oxygen into your fermenter. Common sense stuff you would think, but the FermZilla is the only fermenter or unitank in its class that offers this. Further containers can be purchased separately, and included with this basic setup is a lid for your supply container. This allows you to collect your yeast cake and reuse it for your next brew, saving you time and money. The butterfly dump valve is attached to the main body, also with a triclover fitting, but this one is larger, being 3-inch. After removing this, you can see the triclover ferrule, which makes this all possible. Kegland have been seeking this very unique blow molding technology that makes this kind of shape possible for a very long time, and they are delighted that this is now a reality. I am very pleased too, and so should you be, because it makes the whole FermZilla much easier and faster to break down and set up, plus naturally triclover fittings offer a very secure connection that is relied on already within commercial and homebrew settings. Let's now take a look at these new parts more closely. Firstly, we have stainless steel triclover fittings. You will notice that the 3-inch fitting is a 3-piece rather than a 2-piece. Kegland found during their research and design that the 3-piece fitting was best suited to the task of its position, so they went the extra mile and included it by standard. And here are the 2 groove gaskets that remove any concerns for a good secure connection with the triclover fittings. The butterfly dump valve has had some redesign to update it to triclover fittings, but it is still the dump valve that you can rely on for a really good seal, and it is still dishwasher friendly should you wish to give it that kind of clean. These updates and changes are a direct response to some customers of Kegland's finding it difficult to secure these parts with the previous generation's screw threads, with some resorting to over-tightening, which of course resulted in product damage. I cannot say that I had any issues like this myself, but even so I do really prefer the simplicity and it's done feeling of using triclover fittings in general. Here is a quick tip for setup before we move on to the next parts. When rebuilding this triclover FermZilla, I suggest turning it upside down on its stand and then adding each part. This makes the process even faster and easier than doing the same thing the other way up. Once this is all done, you should then tighten each triclamp and ensure that the bottom container is secured to its lid. This full setup is not something that you'll need to do every time, of course, but it is very good that this is a much easier and faster setup than ever. Apart from these triclover upgrades, the Conical FermZilla also sees some upgrades to its tank's design. Firstly, the cone at the bottom of the tank now allows a smooth transition of solids to the bottom of the container. With the previous design, there was the need for the inner rubber seal for connection to the bottom container to the tank, which caused small amounts of trouble at times. This new design also allows for the removal of more trub and thus minimises beer losses further than before. More beer is never a bad thing in my book. A further improvement is found at the neck of the tank, as there is now a stainless steel ring around its perimeter. Firstly, this makes the tank more robust and provides extra radical tensile strength to the neck area. Should a user make the mistake of overpressurizing, then this stainless steel ring adds extra safety protection to the neck and reduces the risk of cracking. The FermZilla Conical is well suited to pressure and regular fermentation, as with most of the other FermZillas in the range. In terms of pressure, it is well known that yeast companies never recommend over 1 bar of pressure for fermentation, which is 14.5 psi. Also in common with the other FermZillas in its range, the FermZilla Conical can be used as a keg, making it a uni-tank. The vessel itself can safely handle 2.4 bar or 35 psi of pressure, which makes it ideal for quick carbonation should you be in the need for carbonated beer quickly. Whilst talking about pressure, I also want to mention that it is vital for your own safety and to keep your yeast alive to always use a spunding valve when fermenting under pressure. One example, which is also made by Kegland, is shown on screen now, which is known as the blow tie. These are sold in different forms and kits by homebrew stores worldwide. Due to the huge success of the Gen 2 FermZilla Conical, there are naturally a number of add-on products that you will find on the market. Items like the FermZilla covers, pressure kits, hop bung and supporting triclover lid, and the good news is that these are all still compatible with the Gen 3 FermZilla Conical. So in particular, if you're upgrading from Gen 2 to Gen 3, this is very good news. If you're not moving from Gen 2 FermZilla, then it is also great to know that there are a lot of supporting upgrades already available that work with the latest generation. You will also find it useful to look at Kegland's other supporting products like the blow-tie spunding valve for pressure fermentation or the temp twister for cooling. There is also the wrap temperature controller and wrap peel, which offer great functionality via Kegland's online wrap system. Wrapped is breaking into new areas for homebrewers, offering features like the ability to control fermentation temperature via a brew's gravity and a large amount of control features that make it very hard to ignore. Or if you're looking to take things even further, then you could opt for the wrap fermentation chamber, which offers a huge amount of control and technology, along with space for 2 FermZilla fermenters. Things have certainly come a long way forward this year, and Kegland have much more planned for the near future too, which includes a stainless steel FermZilla. Within this video, I have assumed that the majority will be very familiar with FermZilla, so as such do not need a full rundown of all of its features. However, if you do need more information about FermZilla Conicals, then please consult my previous 2 videos as shown on screen now, which covered the Generation 2. The first is a preview and explains all of the features, and the second is a final review of the Gen 2 unit after much use. I also have a third video that explains the differences between all of the FermZilla and Fermentosaurus fermenters and unitanks, as let's face it, there are so many different types now, so a quick guide as to what each offers and the differences is good handy stuff. So there you have it. I do hope that you found this video useful, informative and interesting. If so, why not consider liking and subscribing? For further support, you can join the channel's Facebook group, and if you would like to support the channel, then check out the channel's merchandise store, as all profits go back into the channel. Until next time, happy brewing!